that, I'm going to hand it over to Megan Hussey, who's an account manager at AwareManager. And she is going to be able to talk a little bit more about inspections and how to use the mobile before she dives into the live demonstration. We're just going to be going over, for those of you who don't know a lot about the mobile device and what it can do, we'll be letting you guys know a little bit more about that. So with that, I will hand it over to Megan.
Great. Thanks so much, Courtney, and thank you all for joining us today and making the time to watch this webinar. So before I walk you through the actual demonstration of the mobile app and how to use barcoding and perform inspections, I just want to talk a little bit about what we'll actually be covering today. So the goal for today is really to provide you with more knowledge of what the AwareManager mobile app can do for you and your team, basically surrounding barcoding and inspections. So what you will learn today is how to use barcodes attached to specific pieces of equipment or locations as a means of pulling up all the historical work orders and maintenance records, as well as when you're performing routine maintenance. We'll show you how to easily and quickly perform task checklists on your handheld device, which will eliminate the need for spreadsheets or any paper checklists, which can really be cumbersome. Lastly, we'll cover how work orders can be automatically generated by AwareManager just based on a ratings exception. So next, I just want to cover the basics of our mobile app, just in case anyone who's watching the webinar is not currently using it or doesn't know too much about it. So our mobile app is compatible with both iOS and Android devices, and it allows your staff to update and close out work while they're out in the field. They can also receive notifications when a new work order has been entered, as well as if a work order is overdue. They can also use the app even if they don't have an internet connection. So if you have spotty Wi-Fi in certain parts of your building, all the work that you do on the mobile app will automatically update as soon as you're in an area with a working Wi-Fi connection. The next piece of the webinar that we'll talk about is barcoding. So some of the benefits of barcoding technology: it allows your engineers and techs to have greater mobility as they can scan barcodes on equipment or locations right at the work site. And it also lessens the time that it takes to perform the actual maintenance. Instead of wasting time and effort trying to verify and input the equipment information, they can quickly just scan the barcode, which pulls up all the information that they need, such as a manual, the schematics, warranty and manufacturer info, things like that. It also improves productivity and accurately records all aspects of every transaction. So now I'm going to actually jump into the demonstration. So I'm going to pull up the mobile app. One second. Okay, so now you should be seeing the main screen to our mobile app. So quickly, I just want to kind of cover the major functions. I'm currently using an iPad. And so the four major functions to the mobile app: you have the ability to add work on the fly. We have our work search, so you can search for all existing and historical work. Our barcode scanning feature, and then inspections. So first I'm going to start with barcodes. So I'm going to go in here to my scan search. And it's going to open up with the prompt to launch a scanner. So what I actually have right now is I have a QR code that I've created, and I've attached it to a restroom. So what I'm going to do is launch my scanner. I'm going to quickly scan this QR code. It happens very, very quickly, so I apologize if you can't actually see the QR code. It does happen very quickly. So as soon as I scan that QR code, it will bring me to a list. Now, for those of you who actually use the mobile app, this screen probably looks familiar to you. This is where your work list is. So on the left, this is all the current open work and closed work for this specific location. It might be a little small, so I'll just read across the top here what these items are. So to the right, we have all the detailed information pertaining to this restroom inspection. So across the top we have tasks, readings, there were any files associated, maybe, photo, there was any time that you want to add to the actual work order, any materials that will be used, and then we have kind of more detailed information on this specific location here. So I'm going to spend most of my time in the tasks section, and as you can see, there's a numerical value associated with the tasks. So I'm just going to click on that, and it brings me here to my task checklist. Now across the top, you'll see a color indicator, which corresponds to the items being checked off. It will start as red, basically saying no items have been checked off, but as you go into edit mode and start checking off, you can see that it turns to an orangish yellow color. So that's just letting you know that at least one item has been checked off. So you can kind of go through these, and for each item that is checked off, what will actually happen is in the background, it's actually populating the credentials of whoever's logged in, and it's also populating the date and time that the task was checked. You can also add in any notes. So if you had any discrepancies pertaining to this restroom inspection, maybe if the floor was messy, if you needed more toilet paper, you can put notes in like that. This is also very useful for any lockout, tagout procedures. A lot of our clients use it for that aspect. And as soon as I'm done checking all of my instructions off, I'll just press done here in the top right, and those tasks have been completed. So I'll just back out. So as I mentioned, you can apply barcodes to a number of different things. So I just showed you how to apply a barcode to a location. Let me show you how to use it for a piece of equipment. So I'm going to launch my scanner and scan. Right now I've created a QR code for a rooftop unit. So if I'm performing maybe quarterly maintenance on my rooftop unit, all I need to do is walk up to that piece of equipment, scan that QR code, and I can see at the top I have an open work order that needs to be completed, and then all of my closed historical work is below it. And again, I'm just staying with the tasks part of this, and I'm also going to show you some equipment details. So I'm just going to start with tasks. So I'm going to go back into that screen. As you can see, there's quite a few more tasks here for this piece of equipment. But again, you just go through into edit mode, check off ones as you complete it, and you can add notes. And again, the status bar will keep you updated on kind of where you're at with taking these tasks or completing these tasks. All right, so I'm going to complete those, and I'm going to go into equipment details. So this is an area where you can add or upload. If there's manuals that you want to attach to the piece of equipment, so I can actually flip through and look at a manual. If I wanted to upload an actual picture of the piece of equipment just to have your workers be able to locate that piece of equipment a little easier, because I know a lot of them look pretty similar. And then we have a diagram that we've added in. So you can upload, any kind of attachments that you want, whatever is important for you guys. Again, there's, some information at the top here, who the manufacturer is, model number, serial number, and the location and description. So that is pretty much the core of barcoding. And at the end, we'll leave some time if anybody's has any interest. If you have any questions, please feel free to put those in now in the side panel. So I'm going to back out and go to inspections. So this is the last part of the system that I want to show you guys. So just clicking on inspections, as you can see, I've created some safe searches. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of what kind of inspections our clients are performing, we have our restroom inspections. If you have any fire extinguisher inspections, rooftop unit, elevator inspections. These are just, some sample type of inspections that, our clients have used in the past. So in sticking with the rooftop unit, say that I'm performing quarterly maintenance, I need to, do my inspections for that. I'm just going to go in there, click that Save Search, and it will bring me to my inspection screen. Now, this will show you just everything that's open that's, that needs to be completed. So all I need to do is click on Start Inspection. And across the top, we have another progress bar. So this is giving you a visual indicator of the number of readings completed. So the green indicates that there are values that have been filled in already, and the red has no values filled in. And what you can actually do is you can click on the color to see kind of a list of, what readings need to be completed. So I clicked on the red, it's showing me, okay, there are 5 readings that need to be completed. And then, sorry, backed out of the screen. If I click on the green part, it will show me, okay, that reading has already been taken. So basically you can go through and, you can work with your account manager or client manager, a manager to go through, what kind of readings that you may need. In this case, this is for a rooftop unit, so, the readings that I might take, is it on or off? What's the voltage? What's the amperage? What's the supply temperature, return temperature? These are all just examples. So I would enter in these values here to the right, and again, you can add any notes. So if there's any discrepancy, if, maybe something's, a little too hot or a little too cold, you can do that there. And one thing I wanted to mention was the readings-based exception. So I just want to show you guys kind of how that works. So what you can do is you can set basically limits for your reading. So just as an example, for the voltage, I don't know if you guys can read it here. So this is my voltage reading. If I were to put in, let's just give it a number value, 140. So I took the reading, it came to 140 for the voltage, and I entered that in. It's actually outside of the acceptable range. So the range that we've already set up for this rooftop unit is 110 to 130. So just with me entering in that value of 140, let me show you what is actually happening in the background. So I'm going to back out. I'm going to go into my work search, and I've created this save search called Readings Exception Work Orders. So if you can see here at the top, this was a work order that was automatically generated by AwareManager. And you can see all of the information to the right. So it's giving me when it was entered, the equipment information, and also if I go down to notes, it's going to tell me what that value was that was entered in by the engineer that actually generated the work order. So another inspection, I'm going to go back into inspections. Another inspection that you can do, just as an example, let's go into fire extinguishers. So this is set up as a monthly fire extinguisher inspection. And what you can actually do is, this is actually set up to complete the inspections for fire extinguishers that are on different floors. So you can actually, complete multiple inspections all at once within, one area. And just going through some of the questions that you can ask, you have either an option just to kind of check it off, or you can have a drop down, yes or no, is the pin intact on the fire extinguisher? If no, maybe that could trigger a work order to be generated, because that is a discrepancy. And again, you always have an area to put in any notes. Okay, so I don't know if you guys had any time to kind of put in or enter in any questions that you may have. I know I, kind of showed a lot, but I'm just going to turn it over to Courtney, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys may have about the mobile app, inspections, or barcoding.
Thanks, Megan. I just wanted to clarify a couple of things because some questions came in that were duplicates. While Megan was presenting this on an iOS device, it is still applicable for any of our clients who are using Android-based mobile devices. So just keep that in mind. So we try to keep the functionality in line with each app as much as we can. So all of these features are also available in Android. Megan, one question that we got was if you could do the search for equipment to pull up the equipment history without barcoding if you didn't have that within your organization. So if you could do it by, typing in the equipment code or something like that.
Yes, absolutely. So if you're not currently utilizing barcoding, there's actually a feature within the scan search. So I'll just go back. You can actually just type in the code right here for the actual piece of equipment, and that is located within AwareManager, the back end of it, and it's in your equipment, the record of it. So yeah, if if you're not using barcoding, you can absolutely bring up all the history for that piece of equipment.
Thanks, Megan. So inspection mode is obviously a new feature. Can you let everybody know how they can turn the inspection mode on for mobile users within their organization?
Absolutely. So I think we'll actually have a poll question come up if any of you have any interest in setting up the inspection mode. We really recommend that you contact your account manager to set this up, and we'd be happy to do that for you.
I'll put up that poll now. So if you do want any additional support or want any additional information on anything within the mobile device or inspections, feel free to fill out this poll. And after the webinar is over, we'll know who specifically answered it, and we'll get back to you, within the next couple of days of whether or not we can get you some support and what support you specifically need. I'm just looking through some other questions, and I'll keep the poll up while we're going through other questions now. Is there a way, Megan, that you could just walk through the different types of inspections that users can set up for those readings? So the different, I suppose you would call it data types that we can capture.
Yeah, absolutely. So the options are pretty much endless with what you can set up. Some of our clients in the past have set up, security rounds within their building. If you have actual building inspections, we have clients that use it for elevator inspections, cooling towers, chilled water pressure readings, and the actual types of readings that you can take related to, the pieces of equipment, whether it be voltage, temperature, if it's as basic as just off or on, yes or no, pass or fail, related to different departments. So whether it's your security or fire life safety department or your engineering department, it's very configurable, and depending on, what kind of rating you need, we can, help you build that up.
Great. And just to let everybody know, the inspection mode, if you're looking at your mobile application now, most likely isn't turned on for your organization. It is a newer feature, so please get in contact with your account manager, and they can very easily turn that on for you. Another question we have, Megan, is about the ability to automatically create a work order as a result of an inspection.
Okay, so just to explain it a little further. So basically what you would do is you would set up kind of like a threshold. So again, I'm just going to, bring up maybe the fire extinguisher. So if you were doing your fire extinguisher inspections, and again, your implementation specialist would help you set this up in the back end, because it takes some configuration. But basically, if you were to say, okay, if the fire extinguisher's pin is not intact, if my engineer just chooses the word no for this specific question, the system will recognize that that answer is not what it's supposed to be, basically. So what will happen is just with, the worker choosing no, it's recognizing in the background this is a discrepancy, so it's automatically generating a work order that will have all of that information based on the whatever the worker chose. So it will have, if he put in any notes, we'll have the location of the fire extinguisher. you can actually set it up so, somebody gets notified right away on their mobile device, or they get an email. So yeah, that's if you have any other questions, kind of more detailed when it comes to reading space exception, just let me know and enter in any questions.
So if someone had inspections they wanted to set up monthly, is that possible to do, and will that create a work order for each upcoming month?
Yeah, so it basically works like preventative maintenance. So you can have it on an automatic schedule, a reoccurring schedule, if you will. So if you had, certain inspections that needed to happen either weekly, daily, monthly, quarterly, annually, you could set that up to be automatically generated so you wouldn't have to do it manually.
Great, and we did get a question about cost for this. So the inspection mode is available at no additional cost to actually use it within the mobile application. We do have services available if anyone wanted help actually setting up those inspections on the back end. Our professional services team is here to help you with that, but to actually use the inspection mode within mobile, there is no additional cost. We did receive a couple of other questions so far, and I don't want you guys to feel like we're ignoring you. I just wanted to double check after the webinar on a couple of them just to make sure that we're getting you the best answers that we can. So keep an eye out later today or tomorrow just for an email from myself or Megan, and we will definitely get you those answers. One of the questions that came up with is, after an inspection is completed, can people access that information later on within the system?
Yeah, absolutely. So the programs, everything is tied together. So, the mobile app, it's all just a suite of products. So the mobile app, all the information is, stored in the backend solution, JXT, if you guys are more familiar with that. And that's where you can really access, all of the data. So you can see all of the, inspection readings that were entered in. You can see, who checked off the tasks and at what time. So it's all connected. Everything is completely connected, and of course you can have access to that.
So far, we've answered all the questions that we can at this point, but we'll hang on for another few minutes if anyone does have additional questions about inspections or rounds specifically, or if there's anything else that people have questions about in regards to the mobile application. We're hoping to do these webinars on a more regular basis on behalf of our customers. So the plan moving forward for next year is to do these at least quarterly, if not more, as we have additional product upgrades or new features that we want to show you. So if there's anything specifically that you're hoping to cover as we look ahead to 2017, please let us know. If you wanted to just shoot myself or Megan an email, we'll definitely make sure that we will cover those in future plans for next year. One of the questions that we just got in, Megan, was, are inspections treated as actual work orders, and how can these be reviewed later?
So basically how it's set up, if you're currently utilizing preventative maintenance in that module, you're setting up your inspections like a schedule. So basically once it's generated, it does turn into a work order. And then from there, you're tracking it just like you would with a work order, a corrective work order. So basically, however you're kind of keeping track of that, if you have like a work list, you can kind of set it up as a save search. I won't go too much into the woods here, but it's basically tracked like a work order. So once it's generated from the preventative maintenance module, it turns into a work order, and then from there you would complete that in the inspections mode on the mobile app.
If people have current preventative maintenance work orders set up, could they also view those in the inspection mode, or could that be used to make inspections or the preventative maintenance a little bit easier?
Yeah, sorry, Courtney, I just had to read that question. Yes, you definitely
can also incorporate inspections.
I think we have a little bit of an echo. Just get that. There we go. Yeah, so with your preventative maintenance, the preventative maintenance module, don't think of it just as preventative maintenance. It's basically just a scheduling tool. So you can set up, even if you weren't performing preventative maintenance on a specific piece of equipment, if you had maybe like a cleaning schedule, maybe you had workers that cleaned the first floor of the building every week, you could set the schedules up that way. So just want to kind of make it clear that the inspections is set up in the preventative maintenance tool. So it's basically setting up these schedules, these reoccurring inspections that happen. Yeah, that's basically how it's set up.
And Megan, in our last couple of minutes, a few people did join late. Could you just run a quick demo on the barcoding within the mobile app?
Absolutely. Okay. This is the fun part. Hold on one second. Let me get the mobile app back up and running. Okay. So just to quickly go through this for anybody that might have missed it. So the barcoding is here in the scan search. And again, I've created two separate QR codes. I've created one that is attached to a location, specifically a restroom, and the other is attached to a piece of equipment, specifically a rooftop unit. So I'm going to go in here to scan search, and I'm going to launch my scanner. I'm going to scan in the rooftop unit. And again, this might happen very quick. I apologize. Okay, so I just scanned that piece of equipment. So everything to the left are all of the closed past historical work that has been completed on this piece of equipment. Everything that's open is basically what needs to be completed. So I'm going to go over here to my quarterly preventative maintenance. To the right is all the detailed information pertaining to this piece of equipment. So the location, the description, and then across the top, we've got items such as tasks, readings, files, time, materials, and equipment. So I'm just going to focus on tasks and equipment for this webinar. So I'm going to go in here to tasks. And because I just completed all the tasks, as you can see, they're already all checked off. But across the top here, this is a status kind of progress bar. So it's, if I take away some of these, it's basically just letting me know, okay, you still have a couple items that you need to complete. And again, this works just like a checklist. So you're going through these instructions that you've created, and you're going through one by one completing these tasks. And again, for anybody that has missed the part before when I went over this, all of the tasks are time-stamped when you check them off. So it is populating the credentials of the current user logged in, as well as the date and time. And that information cannot be edited. So a lot of our clients, like that for security reasons. When it comes to the lockout tagout protocol, it's very important when it comes to OSHA. So yeah, that's the task part. And then if I just back out and go into equipment, so this is where you would upload any equipment details. So who's the manufacturer? What's the serial number? What's the model number? Do you want to add the manual for that piece of equipment? You can upload that here, as well as a photo of the actual piece of equipment or a diagram. So these are just examples. You can upload, any kind of attachment that you want here, PDF, a Microsoft Word document, anything like that. So I hope that was helpful. You can definitely reach out to me personally if you have any questions or want, a more personalized demo when it comes to barcoding or inspections. Courtney, do we have any more questions at all?
No, at this point we're good with answering questions. There are a few that I have to get back to some of the participants later on today with answers on, but I think at this point we're all set. And if any other questions do come up as you're reviewing this feature with your team, please let us know. Feel free to shoot myself or Megan an email. And thank you all for joining us today. Have a great holiday season if we don't talk to you before then.